Hey everybody, so welcome back to Jim Bob's Garden. So today what I want to talk about is what to plant in August. And yeah, I know I'm late. It's the 19th of August already, and I should have been talking about this earlier. But things and stuff and things. I mean, I've had everything from computer just died on me to, birthdays. This is the birthday season here in my family. We got, 2 in July, 2 in August, 1 in September. No, 2 in September. So that's my reasons, that's my excuses. Like I said, stuff and things and stuff. And then, if you look behind me, one of the reasons I'm shooting right here, if you look behind me, you'll see this big old tree that's laying down here. All right, let me see if I can scope you in a little bit. And you can see it goes all the way out into the pond. And then you can kind of see, you can see the roots that it pulled up out of the ground. So I just had that come down, and I had another really large limb of a gigantic, oh man, not cypress. Anyway, another tree that came down. I think we had a little tornado. I mean, I was outside when it was raining. I swear it was going in a circle. And then I come out here to this. This is about a 40-foot tree, plus or minus a few. They got knocked down, and it's a black cherry tree, which kind of sucks because black cherries are nice to have also. So, as far as August, there's gonna be a lot of things on the list, but I would not start planting most of these until either the late part of August, once it starts to cool down. Now, we are getting a little cooler. Right now we're starting to get nights that are in the 70s instead of in the 80s, and that helps to cool the soil down at night. And some of these things you want to start getting planted now so you can put them out here in a couple of weeks. And we're going to go into that here in just a second. All right, so I'm going to go to my old list first. The old list says in August, and keep in mind this is before this list came out when we were still 9A and not 9B where I'm at right now. But it says bush beans, pole beans, corn, which again, I don't know about that. Cucumbers, man, if you put cucumbers out right now, you might get a few, but the bugs are gonna get all of them, all right? Black-eyed peas, peppers, maybe. Pumpkin, it's too late for pumpkin and winter squash, I think. I may try and plant some, we'll just see what happens. Winter squash, tomatoes, probably just like the cherry tomatoes are ones that'll mature really rapidly because you don't have a lot of time between now and when it starts to get cold. Broccoli, collards, bunch of onions, and turnips. Okay, so on my other list, let's see where we're at here. August, first one. It says arugula, basil. It's saying you can seed that and transplant. I don't know. I mean, usually by this time of year, most of my basil has died off. But I might give it a shot. Beans, bok choy. I will tell you, I put out some bok choy seed, and it grew. I was like, I had a handful, so I was like, well, what the heck? I'll just throw it down. And sure enough, some of it grew. And it hasn't bolted yet. Even though the temperatures are in the 90s. I mean, I don't understand. In the spring, if you plant it late in the spring and it starts to get up into the 80s, high 80s, man, it'll bolt every time. But for some reason, it's not bolting. So I'm probably going to put some of that. I am going to seed some broccoli. It says cabbage seeding. I'll probably do that next month. Carrots, collards. I might seed out some collards here shortly. I have a lot of plants, so I'm going to see if they come back. Kale, lettuce, probably we'll wait on lettuce until it cools down just a little bit. I had some planted, even the stuff I had in my enclosure, my pool enclosure, it has not really grown, and then when it did grow a little bit, it kind of died back. Hadn't really bolted yet. So I don't know if I'm going to do that. I might throw a little bit of seed. I got extra seed. Onions, though, I am going to start my onions. All right. Field peas you can do, and tomatoes, and that's only transplant if you have some plants. Okay. Putting seed out for tomatoes right now is probably going to be a little bit rough. I don't know how well it's going to go just because of the temperatures right now versus the amount of time it takes to get a tomato plant big enough to actually produce. Now I do have some plants that I had left in small pots, so we're keeping them somewhat stunted, and I'm probably going to plant them out and see how that goes, because they're already, a couple of them are a couple feet long, and I'll plant them deep so that they get supported, and we'll see. All right, I've already got the plants, so not a big deal. But that's what it's got going on this time of year. My plan right now is to start doing some seeding with some onions, and then probably do some broccoli seed and some cabbage seed, and that's going to be in trays, so that once it starts to cool down somewhere around the middle of next month, I'll actually start putting those transplants out. That'll give me about a month to get them grown and at least started. Broccoli I started way too late last year, and I think onions I started too late as well. So I'm going to go ahead and try and start seeding them probably this week or next, and then actually this week. I'm going to do it this week, so that I can get the onion sets. All right. So there's basically 3 different types of ways to plant onions. You get the bulbs, okay, and then you get the small plants. All right, the small onion plant, and then you also get the seed. Those are the 3 ways that you can go about, and you can get as far as putting them out into the garden. I'm going to try and get what I've done before, a lot of seeds grown up in small pots, and then once they get to be, 3-4 inches maybe, I'll go ahead and take those and I'll separate them out and individually place those in the garden. That way you get a little better. Like last year, what I did is I seeded directly into the garden. They grew well, but I didn't thin them quite quick enough, and as a result they didn't grow real big. But I also put them in a little bit late, I think, and so they didn't have that time before it started to get hot and they started to die back, for them to really get large. I mean, most of my onions were, maybe 2 inches across. All right, so didn't do as well, and I also think I needed to do better on the fertility. But I've got a ton of compost going. I should have a real good supply of compost to be really able to work on the onion and garlic bed. Speaking of garlic, all right, don't forget about garlic. Now is a good time to go out and get your garlic seed, whether you're going to buy just regular garlic from the store or whether you're going to go online and get it so that you can put it in the fridge for a while. And I'm telling you, it seemed to really do a lot better when I put it in the fridge and waited until it started sprouting a little bit. That coolness in the fridge makes it think it's going through that winter cycle, and then by the time you put them in the garden, they've already got tops on them about yay big, and they seem to grow a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I still have some of mine from last year, so I'm going to use some of the same garlic I grew last year as my seed for this year. All right, which is that's the ultimate goal, really, is to be able to take and use your seed that you produced in your garden to grow next year's crop. I also have some onion seed from this year. I'm probably going to go ahead and buy some more of the Texas Grano short day onions. For me, they seem to grow the best and be the best onions. All right, there's a couple other varieties that are short day that I've seen, but I think the Texas Granos are really probably the better onion to grow, in my opinion. Okay, as far as what we've got left growing right now, it just isn't a lot of anything. I'll be honest with you. We've got a few plants. Right now, figs are coming in great. If you ever want to buy a fig tree in this area, in the Northeast Florida area, highly recommend an Ischia fig. I-S-C-H-I-A, Ischia fig. I got it at Eat Your Yard Jacks, and man, it is grown fantastic. Matter of fact, let me take you over there real quick. Okay, so if you look behind you, or behind me, I should say, look behind yourself. That's good. You look right here, this is a brown turkey fig. Now every year I get figs to start growing on it, but every year they disappear. And I think either the birds and animal life is getting them, or I think they're just falling off. I haven't really seen them on the ground though, so I don't know if that's what's the case is. But figs rot down pretty quick, all right? They don't take long to rot. But this is about 3 years older than that. Okay, if you look behind that one, this one back here in the back, that is my Ischia fig. This is a brown turkey fig. This one is at least 2 to 3 years older than that one. Okay, and that has just outgrown it by leaps and bounds. Let me take you over a little closer. And then if you look at this tree, man, it is still covered with figs all over the place. I probably still got 100 figs on this tree, maybe more. They're everywhere. And I've trimmed this back dramatically over the years just because it grows out into my mowing path so much. I mean, if you look right here, I've got at least a foot of growth on this branch alone, just this year. That's all the green new growth from this year. On this tree here, I've got maybe an inch. Every time I have put wood chips here, I put wood chips there. Gets the same amount of watering, gets the same amount of rain. It's in the same climate, same soil. I mean, there's not a lot of difference between this one and that one. And yet this Ischia fig has gone nuts. I highly recommend it. Another advantage to it, you can see that the figs are green. All right, so most animals don't notice that they're ripe until too late. Now you can see that, well, you guys probably can't, but once these start to turn a little bit yellow, and then like this one here, you start to get the red at the base, all right, of the fig. Let's see if I got one that's right. Yeah, we just picked them all yesterday, so I don't really have any ripe ones. But once they start to turn yellow, and you get that red dot at the bottom, and they're soft. You get a little bit soft. You don't wait too late. If they get too soft, it's really hard to pick them. But if you get them when they're just a little bit soft and ready to pop off, man, they're so good. Now this isn't a great example, but it's getting eaten up anyway, so I wanted to go ahead and open it up. But they'll get that red dot down here at the base, and then once you open them up, you have kind of a reddish flesh on the inside, and they're really good. Okay, they're a good, nice, tasty fig. That one was all jacked up from bugs and what have you. You will get some picking on them. The birds will come and kind of peck at them and so on, but I highly recommend this type of fig. All right, I have another one, Italian honey fig. It's behind this one, so I'm not going to take you to that one. It looks like a stick. It did grow some leaves. It grows some leaves every year. Once again, I get maybe an inch of growth. The Ischia has gone insane. Like I said, I've got, just on that branch alone, I've got over a foot of growth. I mean, which is crazy. All right, highly recommend it. As far as some of the other things that I have growing still, I still have some sweet potatoes going. I have a little bit of basil going. Some amaranth. Some of the amaranth died back too. I have eggplant, and that's really about it. I got one squash plant that has been growing but keeps dying back because the bugs get it, but it's the kind that roots as it goes along. So I still have some growing, but I have yet to get a squash. I had a couple of flowers, they never really took, and I have yet to get a squash off of that plant. All right, it's the Tahitian melon squash, which I was really looking forward to because they're supposed to be gigantic, but never got a one. All right, never got a one. If it's something I'm doing or just bad luck. I did start those late because I tried starting seeds for squash and cucumbers in my greenhouse, and they never took. I didn't get anything to grow out of all of the squash and cucumber seeds that I planted. I'm not sure why or what happened. They did not like it, man. They did not do well. Not a single seed sprouted out of all of the trays I planted. And I mean, I planted a bunch. I want to say I had a 12-pack tray of each. All right, so 36 seeds. Well, actually, I usually put at least 2 per cell. So you're talking, what is that? 72. All right, seeds, and not one sprouted. So obviously, I did something wrong, and I'll have to figure that out next year. All right, but that's what I'm planting here in August. Like I said, primarily I'm going to start putting some seeds in trays for what I'm going to plant next month. It's still 95 degrees right now. The rain is pretty much constant, though it's not really enough to soak the soil. You know, I have done a lot of mulching, still got a lot of weeds to pull, got a lot of work to do. It's been a really weird month. A lot of things have come up, and we just haven't had the time to spend in the garden like we wanted for one reason or another. All right, but enough with the excuses. I got to get back to work. Did you want you to know that I am still alive, and so is most of my garden. But today I got to get the yard mowed, man. This is insane. I got to get some more compost growing. I got 2 full bins, and I'm working on the 3rd. I want to have a lot of compost for when I start putting stuff in the ground here next month. Thanks for stopping by. Do me a favor and give me a like and a subscribe, and let me know what you think. But most importantly, grow something, get something growing. And I know it's tough. You know, this time of year, it's real tough to get anything to happen. But hey, you know, when you do get something going, you can be real proud. Oh, long beans. Man, I'm going to tell you, probably too late to start planting them now because the heat's starting to go away. But man, you get them yard long beans, the red ones or the green ones, they love this time of year. All right, they just love it this time of year. All right, that's what I got going on. Once again, thanks for stopping by, and come back and see me. And grow something. Get something growing. You'll be happy. All right, thanks.